as you are, if you're joining us here on Breakfast of Champions. This is a pre-recorded episode. So, kicking things off first, we start with Thursday night football. So tonight, the 8-4 LA Rams, who are running the tables in the NFC West, host the 6-6 New England Patriots. That game's going to be on Fox. Amazon Prime will have that game tonight as well. Kickoff at 7:20 p.m. Central Time. The New England Patriots are looking to get back into the playoff picture. It's not like they were in the playoff picture to begin with, but they're looking to increase their chances and maybe giving it an effort against a team that is running arguably the most competitive division in all of football right now. So let me give you the rundown and the factoids on this one before we get into our discussion here. So as I mentioned before, the LA Rams are running it. They are number one in the NFC West. They hold the number one spot. The tiebreaker, they're 8-4, but the tiebreaker is they beat the Seattle Seahawks at home 27-20. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the correct score back in Week 10. Defeated the Seahawks at home. Seahawks 8-4, they're at the number 2 seed. As for the New England Patriots, they are 4 games behind the number 1 spot in which the Buffalo Bills hold. They are, 3 games behind the number 2 spot going to the Miami Dolphins in the AFC East. Obviously, that leaves them in the 3rd spot. They lead only the 0-12 New York Football Jets. So a lot to get into with this game. Implications are high. If the Patriots win, they have a 30% chance of making the playoffs. If they fail to defeat the Rams, their playoff chances dwindle to a whopping 6%. I'm shutting up, guys. We get right into discussion. And Garrett, I'm going to open it up with you, my friend. This is a big game. Who is it bigger for, though? If we're really looking at the grand scheme of things, the Rams have a lot riding on this one as well. You look at their schedule, and, you have it on your notes there, the schedule, the 4-game outlook, the previous 4 games that they have. What are you thinking about this one? Who has the higher implications here? What's at stake for these teams? Who has the higher stakes?
I think it has to be the Rams. As great as the Patriots, you can see the winning streak that they've won some more games, and technically they're in the playoffs, but the realistic chance of that happening, it's just not realistic. It's impressive what some of the games they've played. But, it has to be the Rams for a lot of things. But obviously seeding in the NFC, everything is so just jumbled together. They're all right next to each other. And, yes, home field is a little different because it's just not the same amount like with fans. But you still want to be in the place that you're familiar with, that you're playing with a lot. And you need to go into the playoffs on a hot streak. That's just, when you usually look at it, those are the teams that are successful in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. You can be the number 1 seed. And if you, like the Chiefs were the year before they had Mahomes, great 13-3, great year, but they didn't finish all that great. And it bit them in the butt. It really did. And this is a big game for the Rams, in my opinion. Also, not just for that aspect, but obviously the Super Bowl. The Rams were flat out embarrassed. You could argue that literally ruined Jared Goff. Yeah. Sean McVay and Jared Goff have a lot riding on this game, a lot. And they're going to come on there when I want to play well. Yeah. It's a big game for them.
For sure. Now, Brandon, you're the NFC guy here at the talking table. Your team is actually in the NFC West, and on Monday they didn't deliver like you anticipated, like I anticipated. See, look, man, we got to help each other out, all right? We got to be on the same page and I think even Garrett is kind of on my side when, you talk about the Denver Broncos. You support them. You live in Denver. Come on.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're all on the same page.
Lived in the Peyton Manning days, absolutely.
You miss those days. It's Fifth of Whiskey days for
I do. I very
another
miss those
year.
Days.
So... Brandon, back on topic scene. So Brandon, you talk about, let's just scratch the San Francisco 49ers. We'll get to them in a minute. The LA Rams are the most competitive team right now on paper. The 8-4 record, they beat the Seahawks, who were originally at the number 1 spot. We really thought Russell Wilson at the beginning of the year, he's the MVP. It's not even close. This man's lights out. Has the greatest completion percentage. He's killing it. He's kicking ass and taking names. Excuse my French. But now it's Jared Goff and it's Sean McVay. What do you think about the stakes going into tonight? And, they're 1 game behind the Green Bay Packers. I should mention that. I'm sorry. They're 1 game behind the Green Bay Packers in that 2 seed in the playoff picture. They're 2 games behind, I believe, the Saints. Saints are 10-2. They got a lot of riding on tonight's performance against the New England Patriots. You agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's kind of similar to what Garrett was saying about just that Super Bowl 2 years ago and how the Patriots sort of embarrassed them and were able to shut them down. Now for them to come out and play well, it'll be crucial, especially with the stakes that are in the NFC, because, I mean, like we've been seeing, the Rams are currently number 3, but there's a lot of teams, especially in the NFC West, like Seattle, Arizona, San Francisco, I guess you can add in the mix also. These division games for the Rams are going to be very important down the stretch, and they're going to be also very competitive. So I think if you're the Rams, these games against, the rest of your schedule, besides all your divisional opponents, are absolutely crucial in order for the Rams, because I think the Rams personally can win the NFC West. I think they've been the more consistent team in the NFC West. The problem with me with the Rams is I'm still not sold on Jared Goff 100%. He's pretty good, but he's a product of Sean McVay. Without Sean McVay, I don't think he would be much. Sean McVay has gotten a lot out of him than I think any other coach would. So I think once you put pressure on Jared Goff, he kind of crumbles. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I mean, the Patriots will be a good challenger, 6-6. They're fighting for their own playoff hopes as well. Mm-hmm. It should be a fun game.
Now, before I get into keys of the game, and I know I've got a couple of things in my outline here, what was I going to get into? Oh, my gosh. Let's just get into the keys to the game, and then we'll come back to what I was thinking about, because I was going to transition into something else. It'll come back to me. All right. I guess I'll start with this one as far as the keys to the game, and then I'll swing it over to Garrett. Matter of fact, no, that's rude of me. Guest goes first. Garrett, what is a key factor to tonight's game for either team enabled in efforts to pull out the win?
I think there's only one. I think it's Jared Goff. Absolutely agree with what Brandon said, and he's a guy, if you scheme for him, he can easily crumble. You see last week what the Patriots did against the quarterback that's really, really good, and I would argue is way better than Goff and Justin Herbert. But Bill Belichick, he loves to take your key weapon out of the game. And I don't know if we want to say that the Rams' key weapon is Jared Goff, but I'd say their pass game right now is better than their running game. And Bill Belichick has done this to Jared Goff before, obviously, as we talked about in the Super Bowl. But I think Bill Belichick would rather have Malcolm Brown try to beat him than Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and guys like that, mm-hmm. Gerald Everett.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be Jared Goff. If Jared Goff can beat that blitz, which is proven he can really struggle against, I think it's the Rams' game to lose. But I just can't see that being the case.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, good point. 6th best passer in the league statistically is Jared Goff. Brandon, what say you, man?
I think keys to the game, personally, for me, is that Rams defensive front has been playing well all season. I think that'll be crucial because Cam Newton, just like Jared Goff, I think this season especially, is he's mobile, he's able to move, but when you get pressure on him, that's when you get his bad decision-making and whatnot occurring, and that can cause him to make mistakes, throw errant throws. And that's where you see bad Cam Newton arise. So I think the pass rush has to be there if you're the Rams. Offense, Belichick, like Garrett said, is going to have a plan to take away your best player. Not sure who that best player is. It probably will be Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, one of those wide receivers, Malcolm Brown, their running back. But I think on offense, the Rams need to just adjust to whatever Belichick throws at them. And I think the key, the more key thing will be the defense and how they fare going up against Cam Newton.
Here's my thinking on everything. Y'all brought up good points. I think the one team that has everything going for them, as we've alluded to time in and time out, is the Rams defense. They rank top 3 in both categories, defending the run and defending the pass. They're number 1 against the pass. They're number 3 against the run. The only problem is you have Cam Newton, who statistically amongst rushers, let me emphasize amongst rushers, has the most touchdowns of any rusher, 4th most touchdowns, I should say, 11. That's going to be a key thing when you get into the red zone. I think that this defense needs to be clicking on all 8, the pass defense for the Rams, and that's going to start with the blitzing. It's a domino effect, obviously. The Rams have been stellar against mobile quarterbacks. I mean, they're in one of the most mobile divisions in the NFL. I'm talking about Russell Wilson. I'm talking about Kyler Murray. And if you're able to compete against those guys, then maybe Cam Newton shouldn't pose a threat, but I wouldn't let my guard down. And I wouldn't put it past Cam Newton to get mobile and evade the pocket. I think they just need to be clicking on all 8 as far as that blitz game goes, and make sure that, keep in mind that Cam is still a mobile quarterback, albeit he may be, nearing his 30s. I don't know exactly his age. I think he's near 30. But the man still got it. So just be aware and cognizant of where Cam is at all times. Containing Cam is going to be the key to this game if the Rams want to make a statement and continue to be the number 1 team in the NFC West. Real quick, game picks for this one, and then we get into some Week 13 games coming up. So, Garrett, I'll start with you. Rams, Patriots tonight. Who wins it, and if you got a score?
I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to say, I just don't think Jared Goff can beat Bill Belichick. I just don't trust that. And it's weird that, the Rams defense is so good at the front, but, really all the Patriots do is run the ball. And you would think the Rams would be better at stopping the run than they are. It's really weird. I think Damian Harris is a big game. I don't think Jared Goff plays well at all. I am going to say, let's see. I'll say 17.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me say something here. Jared Goff is going up against the 18th best passing defense, arguably, in the league. Statistically. It's not bad. It's not a bad defense necessarily, but it's not good. I mean, do you take that into consideration? This is not really the best secondary. You've got all the eggs in your basket. I don't think. I'm sorry. Your opinion's your opinion.
You're right. That's fine. You know what I know?
Go ahead.
Bill Belichick.
Okay.
That is my answer. My answer is Bill Belichick, and I will say 17-10. Very low scoring.
That is blasphemous.
That was the wrong one. I should have said you can book it. Sorry, wrong sound effect.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right.
You can book it.
You're welcome.
You know who's blasphemous? Jared Goff.
Okay.
That's the end.
All right. M's is fighting words. What do you think, Brandon?
I like where Garrett's coming from there, honestly. I mean, the Patriots had a great week last week. They're coming in strong. It's Bill Belichick. Again, Bill Belichick's faced Jared Goff in the Super Bowl. He knows his weaknesses. He knows his strengths, what he does well. I think it's going to be low scoring, like Garrett alluded to. I think it's going to be a defensive battle at the end of the day. And I trust I just think the Patriots are going to be, playing for more, honestly, because they're still in the bubble in the AFC. They're still, trying to get in the playoffs and get the last wild card spot, even though it's a lot more tougher in the AFC to get that final wild card spot. The Rams are, casually sitting on the top of the division. I think they're going to take the Patriots a little lightly, and the Patriots are going to take advantage. Just my thought.
Man, I'm under the impression that I still feel to this day that defense, not always, but majority of the time, comes through. You know what I say. It does win championships. Rams aren't a defensive championship caliber team. I'm not blowing everything out of proportion here, but I'm saying defense pulls through this time. Not defense wins championships. Quote unquote, defenses pull through. Defense, in this case, pulls through. I'm going to take the Rams, and I'm going to take Sean McVay up on a date against Bill Belichick and a redemption game. I'm going to take Sean McVay and Jared Goff. And Jared Goff may have a trash game, but let me compare him to somebody that I know all too dearly. Drew Lock, yes, had a horrible game. No. Not talent-wise. No, take that out of the picture. That's not even, two different things here. That's apples and oranges. I'm saying the defense has been relied on to keep the games close. And that is the big factor here, is if your defense can contain New England's offense. answer, folks. LA Rams defense does contain Cam Newton and that seemingly what is now a potent offense, if you even want to call it that. Give me the LA Rams.
You can book it.
And that's all I got to say. Give me the LA Rams. I wasn't right the last time when I played that button. I'm 0-1 right now. What were you saying?
Keegan, I want to challenge you on this. You know, it's funny. I think you could argue that the Rams last 3 or 4 years have had top 5 defensive talent every single year, right? Like, I'm talking about like name brand players, talent.
Donald. Yeah, really sure.
Yeah, like absolutely. But I don't think the numbers would back that up. And there are a lot of times where they just get gashed. And they got the best cover corner in the league, Jalen Ramsey. I think I could say the second best defensive player I've ever seen, or probably ever to play in the NFL, in Aaron Donald. I think he's really that good.
Yeah.
And an incredible amount of secondary help, linebackers. They've had so much talent throughout there. But it's not like you've ever seen them as a top 5 defense in most stats. It's just not. And I think that, as weird as it sounds, when you got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey in your defense, I still think they're really that good of a defense. And I think the Patriots will run the ball down the throat of the Rams. And I think you'll get a pick 6 too, and that's why I see 17 for the Patriots.
You're not going to see, like, here, I'm here to spoil your thoughts here. Spoiler alert. You're not going to see, like, a 2000s Ravens. You're not going to see a 2019 49ers. You're not going to see anything like that. You're going to see the Rams just playing enough defense to get the job done. And that's what I think you'll see tonight. That's where I stand on this.
That's completely fair. Completely fair.
I think statistically they're a 1-3. Now, I said this about the Colts when they played, who'd they play like weeks back, the Browns or something like that. I said this about them. I was like, this is a cakewalk for them. And they lost. So I don't know what to believe now. So I'm going to ride on the fact that I trust in defense to perform, but we'll see. All right, we're putting a pin in that. We'll have to come back to it on a rainy day. And with that being said, we get into Week 13 talk. And one of the games that's being talked about right now is an AFC matchup with, quote-unquote, all the implications. The Las Vegas Raiders, it's like the 4th name they've had in their franchise's history, travel to Indianapolis and take on the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Phillip Rivers, who would have thought right now Phillip Rivers would be a playoff quarterback? If I would have told you, hey, LA Chargers, Phillip Rivers, he's going to leave, he's going to make the Colts a playoff contender, and they're going to have the 7th seed come December of 2020. If I would have told you that a year ago, Brandon would have said, okay. And then Garrett, you probably would have said the same thing. Yeah, okay. Now, you look at this game going into Sunday, the Las Vegas Raiders are 1 game away. I feel like they should be in the playoffs, but that's not the case. They run the roost with the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Brandon, I'm switching it to you, my man. It's a big game. 7th is the Indianapolis Colts. 8th seed on the bubble is the Las Vegas Raiders. Who you got going into this game?
I like the Colts. And the reason why
is
the Raiders, if it wasn't for a horrible play call by Greg Williams against the New York Jets, they would have given the New York Jets their first win of the season. They barely skidded by them. It's in Las Vegas, Legion Stadium.
Oh,
brand new
excuse
stadium.
me. Sorry.
Vegas. I like the Colts defense in this one. The Colts defense has been great all year. Defensive line has been great. I think they can get pressure on Derek Carr. I like the Colts. Phillip Rivers has been running the offense pretty well. There's a lot of weapons outside. I just like the Colts. I think the Colts are have more momentum coming into this game. I think the Raiders sort of again, they barely skidded by New York last week. I don't know. I like the Colts to win this game.
8-4 are the Indianapolis Colts. 7-5 are the Vegas Raiders. And Garrett, fun fact, the Raiders are 2-2 at home on the season. I had to correct myself because I said they were. I've said so much misinformation. I set another record the last time I predicted a Raiders game against the Chiefs, I believe, and I said the wrong record. They are 2-2 at home as it stands right now. If somebody wants to correct me and blow me up on that one, hit me up. But that's what I believe their record to be at home right now. screw it. I'm done talking. Who do you take? Colts, Raiders.
You know what I do believe in? Anybody playing the Raiders right now. Because I don't know why we would trust the Raiders at this point. Like, they literally lost to a Falcons team with no Julio Jones, no Todd Gurley, 43-6. And the Falcons are by no means any good this year. No means. They really asked the Broncos to win the game a few weeks ago, and the Broncos said, "No, we're good."
Hate to
sorry,
say
I had to give it a quick little take. Yeah,
it's okay.
it was really tough to watch. And when you talk about later, you were talking about that Colts game against the Browns. The Colts defense started really great. It's been a little inconsistent. They still have a lot of talent on that side. And at that point, definitely Phillip Rivers was playing awful. Like, you could definitely call Phillip Rivers the key loss on that game because he lost in the game. I really think that. But for me, I am definitely going with the Colts. Another thing for the Raiders, Josh Jacobs is not likely to – I think he's questionable, but they said even if he plays, it's going to be a smaller workload. And Josh Jacobs makes the Raiders offense move. Yes, the Raiders have been they've been a good passing offense. Darren Waller, Henry Ruggs.
Nelson Aguilar.
Derek Carr has shown up at times. Yeah. Nelson Aguilar.
Believe it or not.
After that. Yeah, it's a tough one to believe. But I don't know. I just don't know about this team because without Josh Jacobs getting the workload he usually gets, Devontae Booker's not that same type of player. Henry Ruggs, even though he had the game-winning catch, a big drop issue this year. And that's really a problem for me, especially when you got Derek Carr as a quarterback. He's not a guy you can trust every game. Definitely not. And that Raiders defense is definitely nothing special. Phillip Rivers is playing a lot better. And they have a good running game. They're starting to get some receivers healthy over in Indy. Michael Pittman's been a really great surprise since he had that nasty injury early in the season. I'm going to go with the Colts. I am going to say 34-21.
Hey-o. Okay. All right. So everybody's on the Colts.
I really like the Colts in this one.
Everybody's on the Colts, but am I on the Colts? And the answer is, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm on the Colts. I don't know if I'm on the Raiders, man. This is a really good matchup, and it's hard to determine what Raiders team we're going to get. Are we going to get the Raiders team that was competitive against the Chiefs in both instances? They played close, they played down to the wire, and arguably should have won the second time that they played the Chiefs at home? Or are we going to get the team that went into Atlanta and we all thought was going to be a cakewalk, ended up being a quote-unquote trap game? And you get the same team in the same slump in the New York Jets week. So this is a team that's been very inconsistent at times, and it's a team that's been competitive at times, and it looks like they're ready to flip the switch with the Gruden era. So a lot of key points there. I'm going to have to go with, gosh, I hate doing this, but I'm going to have to go with the Vegas Raiders. I just think at this point, with where you can say, give me that look all you want. I think at this point, granted, Josh Jacobs questionable going into this week, I think Derek Carr, quote-unquote, rallies the troops. I think he's able to get the passing game going, and I think they're able to play a different game than what they've done against Atlanta and what they were able to do against the Jets. Granted, Jets were one game away from being 1-11 instead of 0-12, but that's not the case. The Raiders got
I think
it done.
Adam Gase whispered in Greg Williams' ear, he's like, wait, I think we still need Trevor Lawrence. Let's call a blitz.
Yeah, we need a tank. What are you doing? This isn't a part of the script. So
yeah, exactly.
Give me the Raiders at home, even though I'm the outcast here. I'm the minority pick. I'm going to take the Raiders, and I think it's a close game. I think it's within 7. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Give me the Raiders. Derek Carr shows up. Aguilar shows up, and Henry Ruggs has a good game as well. Watch out for Henry Ruggs. I think he redeems himself.
Good luck trusting those 3. There's your argument. That's why your argument's wrong. Good luck trusting those 3 in a game.
Okay, guess we'll have to watch. All right. Football game got moved to Monday night, and this one is absolutely amazing. It's actually the team I'm pulling for the rest of the year because my team doesn't have anything to show for. If you would have told me that 2020 meant pandemic, 2020 meant, sadness, but 2020 meant the year of Cleveland, I would have thought you were crazy. The Cleveland Browns are, oh my God, Let's look at the freaking chart. In the AFC playoff picture, they are 9-3, folks. You cannot make this up. This team has not had a winning season since 2007, and Baker Mayfield said, I'm going to be the first to do it. And I said this stuff years ago. I said Baker Mayfield's going to be the guy. Watch. And it's not just because I've met Baker Mayfield myself. Thanks for the jersey. If you can see it in the stream, I got the football signed over here. I love Baker, and I'm pulling for Baker against the Baltimore Ravens. God bless it. I'll take my pick now. They take the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football, and you want to know something? Lamar Jackson, you are in for a serious treat, my friend. The Cleveland Browns beat the Baltimore Ravens by 2 touchdowns, and I'm not making that up. How they played against the Tennessee Titans last Sunday looked like a cakewalk. This is a completely different Browns that we saw from week 1. Shake your head all you want, Brandon Anthony, but I'm telling you, this is a completely different Browns team under Stefanski's rule. I think this is from the run game to the pass game, the Baltimore Ravens don't stand a chance on Monday night, and I'm confident in saying that. I'm probably going to bite my words. It might be a close game. It might not. I'm ready to take that gamble. I think the Cleveland Browns are the team to watch heading into the playoffs. They are secretly good.
I completely agree. Dude, I actually could not have said that better. It's crazy. First time agreeing with Keegan so far. And Keegan has reminded me that I have been calling him, most of the time we're talking on the phone, that I've just been telling him how bad Baker's been. And he's really been taking it pretty hard. But there's nothing for me to say. He played incredible against Tennessee. You might look at that score and say, oh, that was a close game. That game was by no means close. That was a fourth quarter add-ups, and let's stack the stats a little bit. The Browns they're really good. And you want to talk about another guy we can't trust? Lamar. Why would we trust Lamar Jackson right now?
Touche.
What is there to trust there?
Touche.
What is there to trust?
Too freaking shay.
He can't. He's been okay. I mean, it's not like he's not a bottom line quarterback that's going to get replaced. But can he really throw the ball right now? He really can't. When it's the only time he's even completing passes is on plays where you don't know if it's a pass or a run, and it's play action or it's a first down. He can't throw the ball. He's an incredible athlete, but I'm surprised I haven't heard more of the running. He should have been a running back or wide receiver when we heard in the draft. He can't throw the ball that well. You can even see Hollywood Brown's getting mad at him.
Preach,
a lot
brother.
of running backs have been hit with corona.
Woo!
And even that really unstoppable defense, which might be the only reason this game would be close.
Yes.
They haven't been as good. They just haven't been as good. And I've talked a lot about Aaron Donald, but Myles Garrett might be the only guy that really could be around his level, because Myles Garrett is a special defensive player. I think he's leading the league in sacks, if I'm right.
Amen. Amen. So you got the Browns too?
Denzel Ward. Yeah, Denzel Ward's a good corner. Absolutely. I almost want to say 3 touchdowns. I will say 2, though. To be safe, I'll say 2 touchdowns. I'm the exact same boat as Keegan. Brandon, I'm ready for you to get mad at both of us now.
Here's your evidence time, brother. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think the Browns will win this game. They'll beat the Ravens.
Oh,
to you guys' point, the Ravens have been inconsistent. But I'm not buying into all this Browns hype quite yet. I understand they're 9-3. They're having a great season. They're off to one of the best starts in their franchise history. Baker Mayfield's playing well. They're still the 5th seed in the AFC. They're not winning in division currently. I mean, obviously, a Pittsburgh at 11-1. This Ravens game's huge for them in terms of Baltimore's looking to come up and try to get into the playoff picture. I like Cleveland to win this game because I think they've been a more complete team, and I think they've been playing the better football at the moment. And to you guys' point, Lamar Jackson hasn't looked, fantastic this season. After his MVP campaign last year, the Browns 9-3. I like them, but I just don't know. They're 9-3. I want the Browns to make it to the postseason, and then we'll talk. If they make a run to the AFC Championship game or something like that, then I'll be all in on the Browns. But until then, 9-3, that's great. But this isn't a team I particularly trust in the postseason.
Well, disclaimer, Boo, this is the first time in forever we've ever seen this team make it to the postseason, and not just the postseason.
Exactly. That's why I don't trust them. They're never in the postseason, so I don't know what to expect with them in the postseason.
They're at a 5 seed. They've went through a Rolodex of quarterbacks throughout their franchise's history, and now they finally got one, and now they're ready to make a damn push. And it's about time that they showed up to the party because it's been forever, it feels like. I couldn't imagine the pain that the Cleveland Browns fans are going through. Now it's just glory. You can't blow it now. You're on the backstretch, and things are looking positive. You play the Ravens on Monday night, and that is a must win, as you alluded to, Brandon. That is a must-win game for them. Then you get a date with New York. You get the Big Apple. You get all of it. You get the Giants and the Jets. So there's a cakewalk. Knock on wood. And then to close it out, damn good game. It's on 1-3. It's Pittsburgh Steelers. They get to come to town, to the Dog Pound. Now, last year when this game happened, things got a little chippy. And you know what we're talking about when things got chippy.
That's an understatement right there.
If Myles Garrett doesn't get an assault charge this game, they could be looking good going into the postseason. Kidding. Sorry. I'm going to go with the Browns. I think they go 4-0 to close out the season. There's my hot take. What I saw from Pittsburgh on Tuesday night or Monday night, you expect me to trust them to I don't even know what the rest of their schedule looks like. And the Browns are looking as competitive as ever. And I think as they progress throughout the next 3 weeks, they could get even more aggressive. So if they go on a run,
win the division.
Is that what you're saying? If they go on a run, I would not be surprised if they win the NFC or the AFC North. And didn't I say this at the beginning of the year? Now that it's coming back to me, I was like, didn't I say that they were going to win the AFC North? Didn't I say they were the team to watch? I feel like I did. There was a soundbite somewhere. I don't know.
I believe you did.
Okay.
I think you did.
I have to look for this.
I think you did.
I need evidence. I'm going to look back at it and see if I can find it. But I got one more game, and this one's for Brandon's household.
Can I do a quick side note for that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You mentioned Stefanski. Is this not one of the best Coach of the Year Coach of the Year awards ever? We have Flores, we have Tomlin, and we have Stefanski. This is really one of the best Coach of the Year debates I can remember ever having, really.
Yeah.
3 just outstanding coaching performances.
Yeah.
But also, you're right about the Steelers. Are we really sure they're that good? They've had a lot of close games. Watch out for the Giants, though. The Giants, as much as a joke the NFC East has been, the Giants have been playing a little better. Their defense is okay. And without Daniel Jones giving the ball away 7 times a game, it really does help things.
All right. So you see the Marino. If you're on the live stream, you see the Marino jersey behind Brandon. He's got a big one this weekend. The family's got a big one to watch this weekend as the Kansas City Chiefs make their return to Miami since they won the Super Bowl back in February. This will be their first appearance in the Dade County. Bay Area. Yeah, different side, right? All right. Geographically, one of those days. Miami Dolphins take on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be the first battle between Tua Tagovailoa and Patrick Mahomes. The future versus arguably a Hall of Famer. It can be argued. He's got the stats. All right. Brandon, I start with you. This is a good game on all aspects, and especially now that Tua's getting that start. Who wins it? I was hoping that my team would win it on Sunday, but wishful thinking, it was I. So, Brandon, it's next on the list. Dolphins, Chiefs. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, this game, to me, Dolphins are starting Tua at quarterback. And personally, I've watched a lot of Miami Dolphins football this year, particularly because of my dad being a Dolphins fan. They've been in and out between Fitzpatrick, Tua Tagovailoa. I like this Miami offense better with Ryan Fitzpatrick currently as of the moment. I think Tua's come in. He's done a great job, but he's been more of a game manager. He's 3-0 as a starter. Great. But in terms of moving the ball down the field more, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He knows the offense. He moves it down the offense down the field, and they put up a lot of points when he's quarterback. Tua, I feel like, still has more to learn and more developing to do before he starts getting to that level. Although he is 3-0 and he can move, he's a mobile quarterback. But that's something for me for this game primarily. To beat the Chiefs, you're gonna have to put up a lot of points regardless. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City is gonna put up a lot of points. So really, to me, the Dolphins, I don't know if their offense can match Kansas City's offense. They get Tua Tagovailoa in there. I think Kansas City is going to win this game only for the reason that they got Tua Tagovailoa starting versus Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think if Ryan Fitzpatrick was starting, it'd be more of a chance. However, I will say this. I will say the Dolphins defense has been playing great. If they can keep, Mahomes under check, they may have a chance with Tua as well. But they got to really find a way to slow down Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes. My dad actually told me, he's like, man, this Tyreek Hill is good. Dude is good. I was like, yeah, well, I first realized that in the Super Bowl. So there you go. Have fun dealing with him this weekend. So yeah, I like Kansas City just because I think they have more firepower on offense. But I wouldn't count out Miami either.
Garrett, I think I already know your answer, but go ahead and just tell the people.
Well, you know how I was telling you before the year about how, I feel like the Chiefs are actually underrated without even all the hype they get. I agree with Brandon on absolutely everything that he said. Shockingly, I would actually take Fitzpatrick over Tua, which sounds really crazy, but, I would say Tua's – it's not even really an argument. He's way more talented, but he's had two real clunkers. And Brian Flores is a special coach, has a great defense, two deep play receivers in Preston Williams and Devontae Parker for the Dolphins. But this is a game where I think the Chiefs see the Steelers lose. They saw the Steelers lose, and they're like, ooh, so we can get the 1 seed. And I think this is the game where people have been talking about where's the Chiefs, what Chiefs game are they going to have, where they just put everything together. And, yeah, they smoked the Jets, but we've talked about the Jets. They're not any good. This is one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my lifetime. This game against the Dolphins, this is my prediction that I probably believe in the least, but I think Mahomes just goes absolutely bonkers. I think Flores has a great game plan for him. It doesn't matter. I think you're right, Keegan, that he actually already almost could be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous how much better he is than every other player in the league. Not just quarterback, but player. I am actually going to go with the Chiefs in an absolute rout. I am calling 42-10.
A 40 burger. You heard it here, folks.
I think this is a blowout. I think Mahomes goes nuts. And I think the Chiefs defense, they want to take I think they want to answer the call as well. I think this is a blowout.
Book it.
That's right, Stephen A.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, Scott. Scott, please don't get mad at me. I'm really glad.
He's not around, so you're good right now.
Okay. Well, Scott hears this. Shout out to Scott. Again, really happy. I told this to Brandon before we got on the air. Really happy he's doing well. But sorry. I think this is an absolute rout waiting to happen.
I'm going to say
my heart wants Miami to win really badly, but my mind thinks Kansas City is going to win. But we'll see what happens.
All right.
Keegan, you're before.
I'll say this, and then we'll switch to NBA talk. We got a lot to get into as far as NBA goes. Christmas hoops, man. You can't go wrong. All right. I watched the Denver Broncos on Sunday night have a game in their hands, and really was a mirror image of what it was like the last time that we played the Chiefs before. People were like, you're crazy for that statement. How? Our defense made Patrick Mahomes practically inanimate. Like, he wasn't able to be as productive as he normally is. We were able to get to him. We were able to apply pressure, and it was one of his worst games. Our defense plays phenomenal against Patrick Mahomes, and I truly think we're one of the only defenses that has the formula for Patrick Mahomes. It's the fact that he has so much weaponry and artillery, as Brandon alluded to. It's almost like you can't catch a break. No matter where you look, Patrick Mahomes can extend plays, and that is the key factor in beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody has the formula to master Eric Bieniemy's offense. Nobody has cracked the code yet, arguably. I mean, the Raiders can get their win. Sure, that's fine. They could play him down to the wire in the next game. Great. You don't have the formula to beat Eric Bieniemy. And when they lose Eric Bieniemy going into this offseason, which is a great chance, Brandon and I had this conversation, they probably lose that firepower, and they lose the system. And when they lose the system, then you're going to be able to find a more reasonable formula to be able to stop this offense, depending on who they bring in. I mean, Andy Reid has done a magnificent job with the quarterbacks he's worked with, but arguably this is a lot of Eric Bieniemy's groundwork and architecture, a lot of what he's implemented into the offense. With that being said, all that aside, you can't stop the firepower. Miami Dolphins, they're going to struggle, man. It's going to be difficult for the secondary to be able to find the formula and get to Patrick Mahomes. I just see this one going bad. Now, do I think it's an absolute shutout? No. I think at some point and I'm going to mention this too. Steve Spagnuolo's defenses in December, phenomenal. Okay, go look up their statistics and what they were able to do last year on the back half. Everybody said, "Oh, they're a bottom 5 defense." They stepped it up in December, and we're one of the most productive defenses. That being the Kansas City Chiefs. We see yet another great performance from the Kansas City Chiefs. Their second crutch comes out and helps them. It's not even a crutch. It's basically just insurance. Their defense comes out, does their job. Tua's taken out. You get Fitzpatrick in the fourth quarter. He throws for 2 touchdowns. I think this is a 42-14 beatdown, and I'm going to give it to the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's pretty much my theory on that. Garrett, you look lost. You're giving me a weird look.
Sorry, I was just listening. I agree with you, except for you gonna say one. How is Eric Bieniemy not a head coach yet? That's insane to me. Absolutely insane. Also. Yes, it'll be different without him gone, but guess who you still have on that team? The guy that we were just preaching about, Patrick Mahomes. It's still going to be just about impossible, I think, the game plan for that guy.
It can be different.
That guy is unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
It can be different with system, dude. It can be different with system. And
I agree.
A prime example with that is Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady's 40 years old. Hear me out. Again, I'm losing you, but hear me out. Tom Brady is 40 years old, man. And granted, he moved on from his team last year, but Bill Belichick had the formula. He had the chemistry. Brady didn't have this record a year ago. Brady had everything going for him. Brady didn't have to he had everything catered to him. Patrick Mahomes has found his niche in the offense that Bieniemy runs. I just think it's going to be interesting and different, and probably they're going to be a little bit more vulnerable as an offensive unit if he gets another offensive coordinator. I don't think if Bieniemy doesn't stick around, you're not going to see the same productive Patrick Mahomes that you see on a weekly basis. I think it's going to be different, and they're going to be a more vulnerable offense. Now, maybe that's just wishful thinking because I belong in the same division. But otherwise, maybe I'm living on a prayer, but we'll see.
You sound like Patrick Mahomes trying to eat steak and ketchup.
All right, switching gears.
I know you liked that.
Shame. All right, switching gears. We got NBA hoops, and oh my God, tomorrow is preseason. That's ridiculous. We got 5 games, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Houston Rockets, Chicago Bulls. I'm looking at these games down the line. Houston Rockets, Chicago Bulls play tomorrow afternoon. Granted, it's preseason, but it's still great to see that the regular season is coming back. Granted, you're not getting your full slate of 82. You're getting your 72 because they cut down due to COVID. Fans not allowed in the arenas, but they're playing in the arenas. Bubble play is no longer a thing. That is a thing of the past. It is extinct now. They plan on playing their games at home with no fans. Guys, before we even get into preseason, before we even get into free agency, what do you think about everything and how it's moving so fast? It seems like just yesterday we were crowning the Lakers as the champions, and now we turn around and preseason's already here. Brandon, I'm going to start with you. What do you think this says about the league's confidence? I feel like a lot of players are coming in rookies are coming in, new free agents are coming in. You got to take all that in consideration. We've had this conversation before. How comfortable are you with starting basketball tomorrow, live action basketball?
It'll be challenging. Personally, for the same reasons as the NFL, there's no preseason. It's harder for rookies and free agents to come in and make an immediate impact when you don't have that valuable game experience at the start. Now, NBA is doing preseason, so I think that can help a little bit. But I think it's smart for the NBA because they stay on track with everything that happened with COVID. However, I don't think the players are going to be as fresh, especially the teams that are in the bubble, especially the Lakers and Heat. I mean, they just finished the NBA Finals, in mid-August, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
It's October, actually. It's literally been 2 months from now, dude. It's crazy.
In October, yeah. 2 months from now. So literally, they're turning around and starting a new season. There hasn't really been much of an off-season. I don't know. I don't think a lot of players are going to be fresh. I think we're going to see a little bit of sloppy games early on. But, I think it's good for the NBA because then they'll be on track and they'll be able to have somewhat of a normal season-ish. But it'll be interesting for sure. And I think especially in how the rookies and free agents fare with their new teams.
Garrett, before, again, we get into the free agency talk and get into the slate of the games that are going to be starting as of December 22nd, preseason up until then, what does this do to the competitiveness of teams? I mean, you're getting acclimated, as Brandon alluded to. You're getting acclimated to new teammates. And I mean, we could talk Anthony Edwards and Lonzo Ball, or LaMelo Ball. So many Ball brothers. It's ridiculous. We could talk about
Leandro's on the Pistons too. I don't know if you know that, Lee.
My
They're all in
goodness,
the NBA
the
now.
Ball effect. Oh God.
Ball
All right.
effect.
Yeah, right. The trifecta, 3 balls, trace balls. All right. I'm done. All right. So talk about them getting acclimated with the new systems and everything. What does this do to the competitiveness of the game and for the big stars? Obviously guys like Anthony Davis getting a big extension, Fred VanVleet also getting an extension with the Raptors, now the Tampa Bay Raptors for the year. What's this going to do for those guys? Do you see them, a lot of these guys, holding out for a good bulk of like the start of NBA basketball for 2020, 2021?
You know what's really sad is I think a lot of fans, even though there won't be as many fans in arenas and none in some, a lot of fans have really not liked, load management. We talked about that. Like Kawhi missed a lot of games. This is really the first year where they really started to manage his load. That's going to shoot up. And I think it's hard to really argue that because like LeBron was literally just in the finals, winning finals MVP. 2 months ago, he was in October in the bubble trying to get out of there. This is something it's really going to hurt the league. So maybe those Lakers and those Clippers and the Heat are not really they're going to have a record and a seed that really doesn't reflect how good they are as teams. This is a year where you could see just you could see bad teams be really good. You talked about how the Cleveland Browns haven't been good in forever. They're 9-3 right now. The Miami Marlins, who were atrocious for 3 years in a row in MLB, made the playoffs this year. That's crazy. And I'm glad, as a St. Louis Cardinals fan, that they swept the Chicago Cubs. All the Chicago Cubs fans that listen to here, look at you guys. Look how you guys doing? This is a year. You've always heard like this is just unlike anything else, but there's really no way to better say it. Like this is something where I don't think it's just so hard to make a prediction. The Lakers they had a great offseason after winning the title, but like how many of those guys are going to play? You don't know. I think AD and LeBron, obviously. I heard Danny Green go on a podcast on The Ringer and said he didn't think LeBron will play the first month. I don't think that's still the case. I think he'll play opening night and I think he'll play for Christmas because the ratings, and LeBron is a guy that knows his platform and his legacy, and he understands that better than any athlete I think that's ever existed. He's really good at that. But it's something that's going to be really weird looking at rest, looking at how teams acclimate the rotations, because also a lot less practice. It's a different year. So rotations might be different. Might take a little more time to acclimate culture-wise, chemistry. The rookies might have a really hard time this year, and the draft is not known as a draft that was supposed to be rich in talent compared to previous drafts, but we don't know how that's going to look. Like, I think they have a more of an uphill climb than any rookie class than I could remember. Like, nobody had to deal with the pandemic going on while they're they're trying to start their first NBA season. This is it's a fun season, but it's something that's just going to be so different. That's really all I can think of at this point.
So real quick, let's talk about the trades that have happened. One of the big ones that happened recently is the John Wall trade. And keep in mind, John Wall hasn't been healthy since 2018. I go back and look at his career. This man was playing 40 and 30 games. Not most recently, I believe it was the 38 games that he had to his resume in 2018. So you get John Wall in exchange for Russell Westbrook, which I don't know about this trade, man. I don't know what to say about the Houston Rockets. Here we thought going into this season, which granted they left in a Game 7 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, in which Lou Dort of the Oklahoma City Thunder just played lights out and was shutting down James Harden. Now James Harden wants a trade, and things get even more interesting. Did we see the last of the Houston Rockets in the playoffs and competitively? now that James Harden doesn't have his right-hand man. Brandon, I'm swinging this question to you first. First and foremost, it's the John Wall for Russell Westbrook trade. Russell Westbrook goes to Washington. Washington sends the Houston Rockets, looking down on the list here, a protected lottery pick for the 2023 first round. At this point, do you see the Rockets being competitive in the West with who they've lost and maybe who they're fixing to lose?
Personally, for me, I don't think so. I think James Harden's disgruntled. He wants to be traded. Obviously, I mean, he didn't show up to training camp these last couple of weeks. Finally made an appearance the other day. So, I mean, if he stays, I mean, he'll be with John Wall. John Wall ain't no Russell Westbrook. The talent there has kind of diminished over the years. They had their opportunity with Chris Paul and James Harden a few years back. That was the real championship window for them was in that stretch when they had those guys aligned and all those guys lined up. Now, majority of those guys are gone. And I think it's a good thing the Rockets did trade Russell Westbrook because I think those two players between Russell Westbrook and James Harden, both of them are, want the ball constantly. And I think in terms of chemistry, it didn't necessarily work out as much with those two on the same team, despite them being teammates in Oklahoma City. You bring in John Wall, maybe that can help. I think the Rockets can still trade Harden. And I think Harden's just not happy in Houston. I don't think he's going to be I don't think the Rockets will be as dominant as they once were. I don't think they'll be in the playoffs.
I personally think he wants to reunite with D'Antoni, and you heard about the rumors with the Sixers. Garrett, what do you think about James Harden's beg, basically a plea, like, please, dude, get me the hell out of Dodge. I want to play for somebody that's
said bag.
Huh?
Because I could talk about the bag. I could talk about the bag, if I'm talking, what we're talking about.
I'd like to buy a Val.
Oh, you guys, have you guys heard what James Harden's been doing since he decided he asked for a trade? Either of you?
No.
Okay, so he hasn't shown up to training camp yet.
Yeah, he's getting fat.
So he went to Atlanta to hang out with Lil Baby for his birthday. He bought him a
Honey
bag
buns.
that cost $100,000, and then he left $100,000 in cash in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went. Of course, he did all this without wearing a mask. It's a great job on James Harden for respecting the corona right now.
Right.
And then he went to Vegas to party and go to casinos and strip clubs for the last week.
Living the best
Again,
life.
no mask.
Love it.
So he just got back in Houston on Tuesday, and the NBA just said that he needs 6 straight negative tests before he can even come to training camp. So you want to talk about a guy? I could go 2 hours on Harden. I think that's a terrible idea for me to do that. I think he has to get traded. I mean, the truth is he's burned a lot of bridges with fans that have defended him all this time when there are clearly cracks in his resume. These Houston fans have gone out of their way to support him, and he's done this thing, which I don't want to get too far into, but I think that's extremely disrespectful to them and the organization.
Look,
the organization made all these trades that he's wanted.
Delivering Louis Vuitton bags full of honey buns and $100,000 and then going to a strip club to get a lap dance without social distancing. That sounds like you're living the best life.
Or no mask too, man. No
right. I'm here. Yeah.
Not good.
We won't get into specifics. All right.
Yeah, I think we should probably get out of that.
We'll put a pin in that. All right. So you got what, 2 weeks until Christmas basketball takes place. The schedule's already been released, and quite frankly, when I look at this schedule, the first time it was released, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I wanted Christmas hoops. Why are we getting this? This is something that I don't want. This is not what I wish for under my tree. Let me read the games that we've got going on. So to start off, we got the Pelicans. Stan Van Gundy, right? Yum Yum.
Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy in the Smoothie King. I said Yum Yum. Why am I thinking of Louisville? All right. Stan Van Gundy and his.
You're thinking of feeding Zion. I think that's what you're thinking of.
Whatever. Zion smash. Zion gets his chance at eating Christmas Day as they take on the Miami Heat. Miami Heat, of course, were in the Eastern Conference Finals and made it to the NBA Finals. Young team, talented team. Could be even better if Giannis decided on where he wanted to go. Wink, wink. So going down that list, Golden State Warriors without Klay Thompson. Obviously, you lose him to the torn ACL again. They take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks could lose that game if they lose Giannis Antetokounmpo. Wink, wink again. Brooklyn Nets take on the Boston Celtics. Kyrie's redemption game. And he probably won't get his redemption, but that's just me. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what Kevin Durant we get. Then you get the Mavericks taking on the Lakers. This is where you stump me. Why couldn't you put the Clippers with them in the primetime game? But what the hell? You do you, NBA. Then going down the list, you get the Clippers taking on the Nuggets to round things out in the brand new Ball Arena. I know a lot of Denver fans are really pissed off about the branding of the Ball Arena and Pepsi Center. We won't get into specifics on that, but we'll make our picks, though, because that's what we do. Pelicans, Heat. First game of the day. That game's going to be at 11 a.m. That's an early one. Christmas Day. Garrett, Merry Christmas. Pelicans, Heat. What do you think, man?
I talked about how the Heat, I think, will be decimated with rest or injury at that point. But the thing is, I actually will look back to the bubble playoffs on something. The Heat have been the best team at guarding Giannis. And I think you kind of have to guard Zion, how you have to guard Giannis, where you just wall off, make anything easy at the rim. And Zion is a physical specimen. The shape of him and Giannis are different. But I think the Heat get this victory just due to how they play Zion. I don't think Brandon Ingram comes through. I'm going to take the Heat in this one.
Brandon, what do you think, man?
Pelicans. I think Miami Heat will come into this game tired, as Garrett alluded to a little bit. I think the New Orleans Pelicans will be fresh. And, I like Zion Williams to shine here. It's his first season, second season in the not being a rookie, his first season not being a rookie. I think the Pelicans still have some talent as well. I just think they'll be the fresher team. I think the Heat are going to falter a little bit just due to lack of rest they've had since their finals appearance.
I can't agree more, man. And icing on the cake, I think that Stan Van Gundy, now that he takes over the leadership, the reins of that coaching position, and he's got finals experience. He's got conference finals experience. He's got winning experience, unlike Alvin Gentry. I definitely foresee the New Orleans Pelicans getting this win, and I think that they take care of business. Miami Heat team that's going to be a little bit fatigued. And granted, they literally just played in October, cut them some slack. But all that being said, I'll take the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, real quick, we got a couple more minutes left. We're going to take these next 4 games, close off the show. So Golden State Warriors take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Brandon, what do you think about this one, my friend?
I think Giannis will still be a Milwaukee Buck at the time, potentially.
Okay.
I think the Warriors will be too young. They have Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins. They just drafted James Wiseman. I think it'll take them a little bit longer to get implemented in the season. They'll get off to a little bit of a slow start. I like Milwaukee in this game coming out. I think Giannis still be on the team. If that's the case, I like Milwaukee.
Garrett, G-Money, what do you think, man?
Another thing you know about me, Keegan, is I am a huge Steph Curry fan.
Yeah.
Do I think the Bucks are a way better team? Yeah, I don't think that's really debatable. Another thing about the Warriors, they did add Kelly Oubre, so they have a really interesting starting lineup. I know Keegan just loves Kelly Oubre.
No. I love Oubre. Oubre's got drip, but I'm saying
that's what I said.
I'm saying Giannis, we don't know where he's at this point. Is he still in is he going to be back is the question. Is he going to sign his extension?
He gets the opportunity to sign his Supermax extension if he wants it the day before the season starts. So he has until December 21st to sign that extension. If he doesn't want that extension, then he doesn't sign it, and he goes through this year and sees how it goes. The thought process that we've heard from Giannis basically is going to be that he plays out the season, and he will play. And it seems likely he'd play out the season. I don't think you could see him getting dealt before the trade deadline. But it's going to be like, hey, if we can't win this year, I'm out of here. And I think that probably means at least getting to the conference finals, but that probably would not be enough. I'm thinking he needs to be in the finals. So I do think the Bucks are there. I still think he's with the Bucks, Bucks a good team. Drew Holiday, sneaky good trade they made for him. They gave up a lot, but I think that the thought behind that was to entice Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to get Bogdan Bogdanovic as well, but that trade fell through.
Yeah.
A few issues with that. Milwaukee will get in trouble with. But I actually am going to go with the Warriors. I think Steph. Nobody gives Steph enough credit. I really don't like this. I think Steph will go absolutely bonkers. I'm thinking at least 50 on Chris. I think he's a showman. He really is. And I think the Warriors, they're not going to contend with the championship this year. But I think Wiggins, the Golden State's done a lot to improve guys that just look like they're done. JaVale McGee, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
I think Wiggins could be sneaky really good this year.
Mm.
Yeah, I think Kelly Oubre is a good player.
Hot take.
They have a really nice defensive lineup with Kelly Oubre. Wiggins actually played good defense when he was on the Warriors. Draymond is back. Draymond's going to be a little more engaged. Wiseman. That's a really long lineup. If you think outside of Steph, that's a lot of length right there. They got a deeper bench. I don't think they're better than the Bucks. I don't think they're going to challenge the Lakers, Clippers, or probably even the Nuggets. But give me the Warriors in this game basically because of Steph. I think Steph goes absolutely insane.
Another year of being crap for the reigning champions because they don't have Klay Thompson.
Oh, man.
Here we thought that they were going to redeem themselves and, not only get a lottery pick, but get a healthy Klay Thompson back. That's not the case. They got their cake, but they couldn't eat it too. Klay Thompson, unfortunately, you lose him to that Achilles injury. You get James Wiseman, you get Kelly Oubre. That's fine and dandy, but you don't have Klay Thompson. And he is a key role in that offense, best backcourt in the league, man. I'm saying that Curry and Thompson. It's not even close. I mean, you might put McCollum and Lillard right there.
Not even close. Not even close.
You might make a debate, but yeah, I get what you're saying. No. All right.
I agree. I think Klay with the Warriors would have been better with than LeBron's Lakers. I really do believe that. I know you don't like that, Keegan, but I think the Warriors would have won the title with Klay this year. But we'll let it go. Stop.
Okay,
prayers up for Klay Thompson. Prayers up for Klay.
I'll take it. Yeah, prayers up for him. I do hope for a speedy
recovery.
Horrible. But
ACL then Achilles, so unlucky. And the guy works so hard. Such a likable teammate.
Going back to your other statement, I'm just going to say this: no chance, no chance. All right, Brooklyn Nets take on the Celtics. This is going to be Kyrie Irving's, reunion with the Celtics. The franchise that he doesn't like and has no care in the world for. He gets Kevin Durant healthy after being off for about a year from recovering from a torn Achilles. So this could be a really good matchup. Of course, Gordon Hayward is gone, but they have Jason Tatum. They have Jaylen Brown. They got a really good young squad that made it deep in the playoffs, so deep they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals but couldn't get past the Heat. They are coming off of a short turnaround, so that could be a big thing for them while the Nets have been home resting. They get a new coach, Steve Nash. This has got a lot of good things about it. Brandon, we taking the Nets or the Celtics on this one?
I'm 100% on the Brooklyn Nets in this game. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, both were out last season. I think Kyrie Irving was playing. Did he play last season? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he played for some of the season.
20 games. 20 games. He didn't play much of it, but he played 20 games.
Yeah, Kevin Durant was out the whole season. I think Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are going to have a unreal Christmas Day performance, being their first game together. Boston, like you said last, Gordon Hayward, they're going to be tired. I like the Brooklyn Nets in this game to win big. But I'm gonna say like by 25. I think they're gonna run the table on the Boston Celtics. That's my prediction.
Garrett, what do you think?
And this is a close game. I think if there's fans, I'm definitely picking the Celtics because they'd be booing Kyrie and they'd be in Kyrie's head. Like Harden, I could go on Kyrie forever. And the thing is, I was really worried about KD. He's coming off a really hard injury to come back from with the Achilles.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, I've been talked into actually might not affect him enough with his size, the way he plays. I even watched doctor videos about how Kevin Durant tearing his Achilles is different than other people. I know I'm such a dork for that, but I think KD and Tatum square off, and at this point, it's hard to argue that Jason Tatum is better than Kevin Durant. And I think The only team that's got a lot out of Kyrie in a winning fashion is LeBron, a team with LeBron on them.
Mm-hmm.
And KD's really the closest guy to LeBron at this point. I think the Nets could be great this year. Could be. I think Kyrie can deflate that, but I think I'm definitely going to take the Nets in this game. Kevin Durant, special player. I know it's easy to hate on him the way he left the Thunder. I'm sorry, Keegan, to bring it up again. But special player. I think a guy we'll be talking about to our grandkids. Really special guy.
We will see. Now, I'm going to cut corners here because of time constraints, so sorry about the Lakers and Mavericks. I mean, if you wanted to spit bars on those, that's fine. If not, that's cool. But I'm just going to jump in real quick. Nuggets and Clippers, and then we will close out this show. So, Garrett, what's it going to be? Nuggets, Clippers. Primetime. That's the last game on the slate, 9:30 p.m. tip. Christmas Day.
Can we find another name for Paul George? Can we call him Primetime George?
Pandemic Paul. Didn't we call him?
I like Pandemic P. I like PG 13%. I like Paul Backboards. I like all these. But I think the truth is the Nuggets. I don't think why do we trust the Clippers in big moments after what they just did? The Nuggets are a good team. I have been hating on Jamal Murray ever since he was drafted, but he was so special in the bubble. I don't know how anybody could hate on him at this point. I think Michael Porter Jr. takes another step. As a Missouri fan, and for those who didn't know, Michael Porter also went to Missouri. Had to put that in there. He had a lot of defensive lapses last year in the playoffs. And the truth is, I think that a lot of that is due to Michael Malone not playing him earlier in the year because he didn't trust him. And I think that that defense, I think that improves. I think as an overall player, I think he improves a lot. I think Michael Porter has a chance of being an all-star this year. I think the Nuggets have a chance of getting 3 all-stars in. I don't know if that'll happen. It might only be one. I think Jokic is almost a pencil in at this point. But I'd like the Nuggets. And actually, I'm going to say a blowout, too. I'm going to say the Nuggets just beat them by 30. So I think it's going to be an absolute smackdown.
Ball Arena opening up
like
nice.
Wow.
Okay. Brandon, real quick, what do you got, man?
I like the Nuggets, too. And just seeing the way they played in the bubble, too. They're always that team in the West I think people forget about. They're a very solid team. They're very underrated. A lot of talent. Jamal Murray, Jokic. This is a team that's a force to be reckoned with. They had a pretty good outing in the bubble. I think they'll have another great season. They got a lot of young talent. Like I said, everyone forgets about them. They're going to show up the Clippers a little bit. I don't think it'll be as much of a blowout, but I'm going to go Nuggets by about 10.
Well, I'm going
over the Clippers.
Also, side note, Will Barton is going to be back for this year. He didn't play in the playoffs. Will Barton's a big part of their team. More Gary Harris will get him a chance to fix his offensive woes. But I just think there's a little more depth at the guard position, and I think that's really important to help that team. So
that is
I like
true.
The Nuggets this year.
A healthy Will Barton. I'm going to say this real quick before we close out the show. This is going to be pay-per-view basketball, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to coin a new term, pay-per-view basketball. Hey, remember the time that the LA Clippers caused all this noise on social media, and then they got bit in the ass in the playoffs, and they were sent home? Scary how the tables turned, but the Nuggets, who were silent but deadly, sent Kawhi Leonard and Paul George home. Hey, guess what? You come to the Mile High City, you ain't leaving the Mile High City with a win. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets in Ball Arena, opening up nice, and it's going to be question marks. Doc Rivers is gone. Ty Lue takes up the position for the Clippers. Y'all got to note that too. But Ty Lue, sorry, bud. These guys are going to be metaphorically stepping all over you. I'm going to take, you like that one there? I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets and let me get them by a 30-burger. I think I like the 30-burger. It sounds good. And supersize that. This is going to be a big old ass whooping. So give me the Denver Nuggets. With that being said, to close out the show, I just want to say thank you for joining me today, guys. Thank you, Garrett, for joining us from the Mile High City. I appreciate you, man.
Dude, it's been so great being able to join. You guys are obviously both my friends. I definitely want to see you guys when this is all over.
For sure.
I enjoyed giving Keegan tons of trouble, as always. I always am just giving it to him to the bitter end. But you guys are both great friends of mine. Definitely we'll stay in touch, all of you guys, or both you guys. Well, I think we definitely got to hang out once this is done.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for letting me just rant and just, you know how I love sports. Had a really good time.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for having me on the show. Love the show. Fan of the show. All people, this is a great show. Respect to Keegan, Brandon, some of the hardest workers I know out of the journalists I know. They really both work their butts off. So
thanks, man.
Really, they don't have enough respect. They deserve a lot more. So
kind words, brother. Thank you very much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, sorry we couldn't be on a Friday morning, Brandon. But it's always great to see your wonderful face on a Thursday, any given day, man. It's great to see both your wonderful faces. And Brandon, good stuff, man. I think this is kind of our last one before winter break, but we'll be back on the other side of Christmas break. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and just a happy holidays in general. Stay safe. And, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Breakfast of Champions for
Brandon Anthony.
You want to say?
Am I in there as well?
Just
All right,
say,
I guess I'm Garrett.
Go ahead.
I guess I'm in there too. Also, hey, Aiden Hartman, good job telling me that Joe Burrow was a bad draft choice. Okay. I still need to hit that in.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is Breakfast of Champions.
Hey, you're listening to Breakfast of Champions on KCOU. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a wonderful evening.